Peyton, and welcome to Urban Science Spotlight. Urbanization is reshaping natural habitats, and the rock pigeon Columbia livia is a clear example of how wildlife adapts to city life. Originally native to cliffs, pigeons were early domesticated birds, and escaped populations quickly adjusted to urban environments. City structures mimic their natural cliff homes, and human food sources help them thrive, making them a strong model for studying how human activity shapes wildlife evolution. Now I'll pass it over to Abdur for the history of the species.
Thanks, Peyton, for the great introduction. So, today we're looking at the history of the rock dove, the bird we often call the pigeon. Scientists have confirmed that the rock dove originated in West Africa, with the oldest known subspecies being the Columba livia jinglocyclus. During the Ice Age, climate shifts separated pigeon populations across the Middle East, Africa, and Europe, creating the genetic diversity that we see today. Early humans raised them for food and fertilizer, and later bred hundreds of varieties for traits like color, behavior, and navigation. Up next, we have Sebastian, who will cover the anthropogenic activities.
Thank you, Abdur. Now I'll be discussing the effect of anthropogenic activities on the rock dove, also known as Columbia livia. The rock dove flight behavior changed when it flew by an urban environment. The parameters considered by the researchers that I looked into were flight speed, group size, flock spread, and flight frequency. And these an urban environment altered the flight behavior. Now Victor can give you a discussion on the skeletal structure of the rock dove.
Thank you, Sebastian, for that amazing explanation. Hi, my name is Victor, and today I'll be sharing with you the impact humans have had on the skeletal structures of the rock doves and how they are related to today's domesticated pigeons. So approximately 5,000 years of human breeding, the species developed a wide array of domesticated strains that exhibited significant changes in skeletal size and shape. This process altered the functional correlations between skeletal characters, moving them away from the stable wild-type morphology. Wild rock doves are generally smaller in size than most domestic strains. Feral populations, domestics that go into the wild, after natural selection acts on them, eventually end up having more correlation to the wild rock dove than domestic doves, showing our effect on their skeletal sizes. That's all for now, and on to you, Max.
Thank you, Victor, for that great analysis. Hello, everyone. My name is Maxwell, and today I'll be discussing how the rock dove responds to human impacts on its environment. Human expansion through cities and agriculture has drastically changed the habitats available for Columbia livia. Historically, wild rock doves rested in coastal caves and mountainous cliffs, but today they've adapted to mostly living in buildings and farmland as replacements for their natural roosting and feeding areas, which shows a major flexibility in their behavior as a species. A 2024 study in Scotland's Outer Hebrides Islands have used GPS tracking to follow 5 wild rock doves, all of which relied heavily on human-made structures for shelter and fed almost entirely in agricultural fields. Unlike earlier generations, which traveled long distances from natural nest to food sources, these birds have stayed within human-dominated zones, adopting a resident lifestyle that reduces risk and saves energy. Some colonies still commute traditionally, meaning that both the resident and commuter strategies now coexist within the population. This variation may signal selective divergence, as birds that efficiently exploit human-associated resources have an advantage in both survival and reproduction. In short, rock doves have adapted remarkably to anthropogenic landscapes, and their shift towards residency provides a valuable example of how human activity shapes wildlife behavior and evolution. Next, we'll go to Ogo for a future outlook and some closing remarks. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ogo, and I'll conclude our presentation by discussing the future outlook of rock dove pigeons and recent research from Iraq. In Iraq, lead contamination is a major concern for wildlife. The study we reviewed tested whether sweet almond extract could reduce lead toxicity in rock dove. 40 pigeons were divided into 4 groups over 28 days, with some exposed to lead, some given almond extract, and others receiving both. The results showed that almond extract helped protect the pigeons by reducing the harmful effects of lead. This suggests natural antioxidants may be useful in limiting environmental toxin damage. Future research could explore other antioxidants or environmental factors to strengthen these findings. Overall, natural products show promise in environmental toxicology, and rock dove populations remain stable moving forward.